LSAT Jeopardy with 7Sage helped me acquire this collector's
Whoa.
item.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I needed. I
Socks.
needed somebody to come on the podcast and share the socks.
Which I'm
Yeah.
keeping in their original packaging for when
value.
their value explodes in like 5 or 10 years.
Yeah. Smart.
After the podcast gets really big.
It already is, but yeah.
It already is.
Well, when the lead widens.
Hi, welcome back to the 7Sage LSAT podcast. My name's Alex. I'm joined, as always, by Bailey. How are you, Bailey?
Well, not always. I think you guys left me out of a recording a few weeks ago, but I'm good.
That's
How
true.
are you?
Well, to be fair, we didn't leave you out. You didn't bring your mic to Florida, so it's not how I would say
it. I didn't get the memo. I didn't get the packing list. It's all my fault. I get it.
You didn't get the memo that we do the podcast at the same time every week. Okay, consider that memo sent. Okay.
Whatever. All
right.
Well, we have a really exciting guest, right? It's not just me. Come on.
It's not. Henry can't be with us today, unfortunately. But in his stead, upgrade? Is it an upgrade? I don't know. You be the judge. We're joined by Eric. Eric, how are you? Eric Broner.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. It's a good day to record a podcast. So.
It's a great day. Every day is a good day to record a podcast. Eric is a 7Sage tutor. He was a 7Sage student. He was a fixture in the live class. So Bailey and I know him.
What constitutes being a fixture? Like, what are the requirements? Necessary
what
requirements?
What do you think, Eric?
You have to be drilled into a stud on the wall.
No,
okay.
That's a little bit too literal. I know that we're supposed to take things on the LSAT really literally, but we got to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah,
plain language understanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
You're
I think
really
it's showing up. It's showing up most days of the week. I'd say that makes you a fixture. Yeah. But
most days of the week, most classes of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
So yeah, we're gonna hopefully talk to Eric. Not hopefully, we are going to talk to Eric about, if we don't end up doing that, we're not going to post it. So we will be talking to we will
Must be true.
Yes. I have a feeling we're going to accomplish our objective of talking to Eric specifically about his LSAT journey, what he took from it, what he brings to what he sees in students now that he's tutoring, and what advice he can give to the viewing public at home. And astute podcast consumers will note I said viewing public, not just listening, because this is the third or fourth.
Well,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Unknown number.
Unknown. Third or fourth.
Us recording it
via
video.
Yeah. So yeah, let's. So if you're not watching this, you first of all, you can continue to listen to it, but you also now have the option to watch it on YouTube.com. www at the beginning. Okay.
Thank you. Really helpful.
Yeah. Eric, how's it going? How are you enjoying tutoring?
It's a blast. It's really awesome to be able to work with people one-on-one, especially I've had, some students that I've just seen them be able to make big strides and like see things click and the light go on in their heads while we're working together. And that's obviously an awesome experience. Just to see somebody else have success that they've been seeking and maybe struggling to find.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so fun. Bailey, do you remember like when you started doing this? The feeling of what that's like.
The rush, yes, the rush when somebody finally understands what's the difference between sufficient and necessary, and you're like, yes, the finish line. No, I feel that. There's so many good aha moments like that. I've had students like jump out of their seat because they finally got something that was like just so hard, and I'm like, I'm right there with you. I feel you. This test sucks.
Yeah. It doesn't
it's learnable.
Suck. We enjoy it. We enjoy it.
We like it.
We like it more than most. That's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about just your path.
Sure.
When did you start studying for this test?
Yeah, so I had a brief 2-week period of studying for it last August. of 2023 before deciding to table it while I was going to school. And then in January, they made the official announcement that they were going to be taking logic games off the LSAT. And I had it in my mind, I was like, oh, like, the schools aren't going to look at the new LSAT the same as the old LSAT. Like, I need to get in while logic games is still on the test. And so then, in like February, I started picking back up with my studying to try and take the April and June tests in a rush. I took April. I did not score where I was planning to. Really short timeline to prepare for that, so really not a shock looking back. I thought I was signed up for...
Quick. Yeah, sorry. Quick interjection, just so I don't forget. Just to reassure everyone, I think that was a common thought when the LSAT changed, but just so everyone knows, like, the schools look at them all the same, right? Especially now that, like, they always looked at it the same. The LSAT was the LSAT. So if you're worried about taking it, I mean, now we're like way past when logic games were in terms of a admissions life cycle. But just do not worry about that. Schools look at the LSAT as the LSAT. But I just want to say that before we forget. But Eric, that was your journey. That was your truth. And I thank you for sharing it. Continue.
Super validating.
Yeah.
So I thought I was signed up for the June test date as well. Got a Reddit notification about got a Reddit notification about the deadline and went to just go double check on my registration. Turns out it was a must be false.
Here's an interesting I feel like we have an interesting sort of case study here where if the premise was Eric thought he was registered for the test,
that's a good one.
Would saying that he isn't registered for the test be weakening that premise or going against that premise? No, it would not. Eric, why would it not?
It has nothing to do with it.
Because I still believed that I was registered.
A belief,
and the truth or falsity doesn't affect that.
Belief is separate from truth, unless you're me, in which case the things I believe are. That's just the way the cookie crumbles.
No. I can think of examples.
Yeah, I've got some weakeners for that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about it off air.
We'll talk about that one later.
Okay, so Eric, you thought incorrectly. Tell me what that's like. I don't know what that's like, but
well, so on the one hand, I was disappointed because I was still slightly in that I need to get my score with games mode, but it also provided some peace, I think, because I found, as a lot of people probably do, that as I got higher into the scoring levels, those next points were getting more and more difficult to secure.
Yes.
And I was not really feeling like June was going to be the right timeline for me anyways. And then at that point, it became like, okay, well, now I don't have 3 sections to prepare for anymore. I had gotten pretty good at logic games at that point, but I wouldn't want to be slipping, so I would have been doing it. But it was like, okay, I could focus all my energy on logical reasoning, reading comprehension. So I ended up, I arrived at a position of peace with it. And then from there on out, leading up to the August test, I was just doing a lot of live classes, doing a lot of drilling. I was in a Discord with a bunch of other people that were studying for the test, and we were all kind of, at one point, we were like taking a PT weekly together and then reviewing it as a group, and so all of that was really helpful. And then I took the test in August, and I got the score that I am happy with. And
what was the score? What was the score?
Right, so I ended up getting a 179, which was pretty cool.
Higher than Henry, so
upgrade. Sorry, Henry.
No,
I think both of us too. So
absolutely higher than Bailey and I as well.
Just to share the context, but
I just thought it'd be funny. I thought it'd be funny to say that about Henry.
Yeah. It's always funny to say that about Henry.
Even the 7Sage LSAT podcast cares about its medians.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, apparently.
So true.
Really cranking
You know
them
what we
up
don't
during
care
this
about
episode.
our GPAs. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
much.
that's true. Well, yeah, I can help
sure
you
hope
guys
not.
out with that one.
Yeah. You help bring up our median GPA.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually
anyways.
so true. Oh my God. Anyways.
Yeah, we don't need to get into
Henry.
specifics. Yeah.
We don't need to get into specifics.
Eric, where did you start? What was your diagnostic?
So my diagnostic was a 161.
Awesome.
Nice.
And then
18 points.
So 18 points. Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
18. Quick math.
Quick math.
Math on the LSAT.
And they say you don't need to know it, and yet
You actually don't. You never
Just one
have to
of
do that math on the LSAT. But
I wish
Really
you did.
you should be able to.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a problem.
No.
Yes. We should do another
Maybe I
math on
could
the
be a
LSAT
GRE
podcast soon.
candidate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
If
they
you
have
can
math
do-
there.
They have subtraction.
I think
I'm
they have a
guessing.
little bit more than subtraction, though. But yeah, I'm guessing.
But you probably have
Although
to know
the-
subtraction.
The GRE is
Yeah.
really interesting because like a perfect score on
Hey,
the
buddy,
math section.
buddy, save
don't
it for a
talk
different
about that.
podcast. It's not what we do here.
Don't even tell us.
We're not
Ignorance is bliss,
interested.
man.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop you right there. You lost me a GRE.
So to circle back to your
Yeah.
study process, tell me about. Well, okay, wait. So you said that you were doing the Discord, which really helped. I'm glad that we are connecting back to the idea of just community on the LSAT. 'Cause
Yeah,
that is kind
for
of a
sure.
trope that we talk about in these podcasts. Definitely changes the game. If this is your sign, like, you have been sitting there in your own little corner, feeling like you're alone in the LSAT world, podcast listener, this is your sign. Reach out to other people. How'd you do it? You met those people in live class, right?
Yeah. It was in one of Alex's classes, so I credit
Nice.
the vast majority of my success to Alex
What?
Jacobs as a result.
I can't even be accurate. I swear it was in my class. Don't even.
No, it was in maintaining wellness and study skills.
Oh, that's a good class. That's a
That
good one.
I started sharing a little bit about where I was at, and one of the other students reached out to me because it sounded like we were sort of in similar positions, and so we were able to connect there. And then I got put into the Discord, and then I've met just a bunch of people that I'm like still great friends with, and for a lot of us, it's now the conversations have shifted from the LSAT to applying to law schools, but 7Sage just brings people together is the moral of the story. And specifically Alex Jacobs.
Please. Please. I mean, not wrong, but please.
Whatever. No, he does. It's true.
No. But just that class, by the way, still teaching it, now calling it LSAT Pep Talk. Just something a little bit more,
Oh, okay. LSAT pep talk. I see you. I would go to that.
Unless
Have
you have a better
trademarked
idea.
that yet?
No, I gotta get on that. Consider this. How do we do that? Do I just say it? Trademarked.
Verbal trademark.
Yeah.
That's it.
This is how you know that we actually did not go to
We
law
haven't
school.
gone to intellectual property. We don't know anything about that. No. No.
You
There's
say
like
trademark.
one RC passage.
You say trademark 3 times. Trademark, and now you better not take that.
You click your heels and then
Yeah.
you are somewhere else.
Yeah. I was about to start talking about Wicked because
I
was
know. I
thinking,
wanted
you
to
said
talk about Wicked so bad.
we can take a moment. Did you guys see Wicked?
Yes.
I have
Eric?
plans to see Wicked,
Okay.
Nice. Wait,
Yeah,
the
so
musical
no.
or the movie?
the movie.
Well,
Okay. Well, when
the movie's
when are
also
you
a
gonna see it?
musical.
I know.
I'm gonna see it in like 2 weeks.
2
Okay,
weeks.
cool. And that's why I
Yeah.
thought it was the musical because I knew you were going to New York soon.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Well, yeah, maybe that as well, but no, the movie.
Okay.
Fun. Okay,
All
cool.
right.
Well,
We'll
you're
have
gonna
to have
love
you
it.
back on.
You might
We'll have to have you
cry. Yeah, we'll have you back on to get your review.
Okay, yeah. So
I
that's an
sobbed.
important topic.
I'll tell you that right now. I sobbed.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So 18 points. Where were we? We're having fun, and that's ultimately what people want.
We're bringing it right back. Yeah.
18 points. Community pep talk. Yeah. So I mean, I think that we do. We're sort of like a broken record about this, but I really do think that like just having friends and community in this process just makes it so much better. And I know that that's something that you had a lot of, right, Eric? Like, just
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a bit more?
Yeah, no, I mean, prior to getting connected with these people through 7Sage, I had one buddy who was applying to law school last year and had taken the LSAT, and so that was
Name
kind of like
names.
my only point of. Well,
Name names.
Name names. We don't believe it.
His name is Smith.
Okay. Checks out.
So anyhow, he had already finished taking the LSAT really before I was even rolling into my own studying. We were able to talk about it a little bit, but getting connected with the people on 7Sage and into that Discord was just really huge for me because I mean, like Bailey was saying, it made me feel like I was not alone. I had people to bounce, ideas off of, and just misery loves company, right? And
so true. That's really sweet. I love that.
But honestly, like, commiserating with other.
No, never.
Wait, what?
It's not even a surprise. There's so many things I haven't heard before. Come on.
I gotta
start come as a surprise. Just start saying normal sayings to me, and I'll learn something new every day.
Yeah, just as you said that, I'm like, oh wait, it sounds like you've never heard that before. It's a very common.
And I'm always so honest about when I haven't heard these things before.
And we appreciate that. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm an open book.
No, Eric came up with that. So yeah, that's where I heard it first.
See, I literally credit it to Eric. If somebody told you can tell me anything.
Trademark.
Okay. Now it's for real. All right. Eric, sorry, keep going. Misery loves company. We were very moved by that. Keep going.
But yeah, I mean, it was nice to have people where, when you had a bad section or a bad PT, you could turn around and vent to, and they could relate to it in their own experience, and you felt like this was like a friend and someone trusted who knows your experience and can really, you believe them when they tell you the next one's going to be okay, right? And so, I think that was pivotal. And like I said, I'm still connected with some of these people. We're from all different locations over the United States, but a bunch of us got together in New York for Thanksgiving, and
that's so beautiful.
Had a little Friendsgiving dinner in Little Italy, and then went to a board game cafe.
That's so special.
And a big part of it was like we did a lot of LSAT stuff, but we would also like take nights where we would play like Jackbox games or Settlers of Catan over the internet and things like that. So it was like I think we were able to strike a good balance of doing, studying together, doing drills, working on all that, sharing, tips and things with the LSAT, but we also had that self-care, feel good type stuff that I think really worked to bond us and also keep us sane during the process, right?
That's so important. Mental game just as important as timing and accuracy in this test. And if you're able to like kind of bolster your mentals from your friends, from your community, amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, everybody's gonna be so excited to hear their shout out in the group.
Yeah.
They're gonna love this. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, it's and I think 7Sage is I mean, I don't know. I'm obviously biased, but I think we have a good community. There's good community to be found in live classes, especially. And
Agreed.
Also forming your own Discords in the way that you guys did. We will have a Discord out by the time that this airs for live class, which hopefully can also help with that. But yeah, I just can't say enough about that. I think it's a real service that we provide here. What else helped you? I mean, sort of turning points for you. Well, yeah, just talk to us about what studying was like for you beyond just the friends you made along the way.
So, I mean, a big part of my process was live classes. I think, I had a pretty good foundation by the time I arrived at live classes. I was a philosophy major, so I think I had a pretty good background with a lot of the logic stuff. But live classes were especially helpful for me because I got to see people who had scored where I was wanting to score, working through questions, hear their thought processes, be able to ask them questions, and that was huge for me, right? When I would get things wrong, I obviously did something wrong, and so getting to see how I could improve that thought process was really useful. And then it was really awesome just to have a place where I knew this class was happening, and I could go to it, and the LSAT stuff would be happening, and it was a way to like hold myself accountable, right? Because if I didn't study on a day, then it was just like, oh, I didn't plan it. But if I didn't go to live class, it was like I missed an event that everyone else was going to.
Yeah.
And
FOMO.
so yeah,
Use the FOMO to help you study. Yeah.
But so live classes was a huge part of it for me. Then also doing like drills outside of live classes for specific kinds of questions that I think were still giving me trouble. Reviewing the things that I got wrong in live classes, where those drills, obviously, I think, review. That's where the magic happens. And then taking PTs about once a week to just sort of get that thermometer check on where I was at.
Yeah.
And what kinds of fixes I needed to be making in the meantime with the drilling and the live classes. What live classes should I be attending, right? So, yeah.
Totally. What have you learned tutoring now? Like what are some things you try to like impart to the people who you tutor? I don't know. How's it been going?
Yeah, well, it's really interesting because I think I get to get a little bit more into the like how can we maximize points when we aren't trying to score a 180, right? I mean, if you're trying to score a 180, you have like very little choice. You have to answer all the questions. You have to give each question enough time to produce a correct answer. You have to do all of your timing around hitting every question, right?
Let me ask you real quick. Like, just occurs to me, were you trying to score a 180 when you took it the last time?
I mean, sure, yeah. I like broadly speaking, yes. I mean,
I'm just curious,
I wasn't going to be
like, how-
disappointed if I didn't, but yeah, certainly I was making an attempt to get every question right. I mean, in my PTs leading up to it, I had the almost always I would have like 2 of the 3 scored sections be -0, with sort of the blip coming on the third one, right? And that's what was causing the non-180 scores. So I certainly had it in my mind that I was like, okay, well, if I can put all that together, it's possible, right?
Well, let me ask you this too. I'm assuming you didn't start with that strategy.
With the strategy of trying to get a 180.
Yeah.
Like the whole time that you were studying, did it look different when you were trying to get a certain score versus trying to literally get all the questions, right?
No, I would say probably it was always my plan to try and get as close to 180 as I could, to be honest with you. But
I feel you. I think what we're getting at more so is just strategy-wise. Did it ever look different when you were like, did you ever do a section where your goal was not to answer literally every single question? Did you ever develop different skipping strategies or have kind of like an interim strategy along the way to get you there?
I definitely had strategies around like things that I would skip, but I did end up being able to come back to them. But that is what I talk about a lot with my students is like your extra 30 seconds that you can spend across these 4 questions instead of the 2 minutes on this one question is probably going to yield you 2 or 3 extra points versus 1, right? Maybe.
Yeah. I think the point that I'm trying to get at is just that, like, you can end up with a strategy wherein you're trying to get in at 180. I mean, if you're scoring in the 170s, you're probably like, you're basically employing the same strategy if you're shooting for that, which is like that you're trying to answer every question and whatnot. Like, but your strategy shouldn't start there. If you're scoring in the 150s or the 160s or wherever you are, like, I think people make the mistake of saying, well, I have to be doing whatever someone is doing when their PTs are all in the 170s because that's where I want to end up. And right, the point
that's a big
go ahead. Do you want to touch on that?
I was just agreeing.
No, please,
keep
please.
Going.
No, keep going.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make going into this test, especially if they're, I mean, like whatever score band you're in right now, especially if you're in the 140s, especially if you're in the 150s. Like, do you want to be doing the exact same things to the T that a person who's on the cusp of 180 is doing? Absolutely not. I mean, end goal, you want to get there, but how did they get there? It wasn't just a magical 140 to 180 jump.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's just, do not make the mistake of like, so many people I think probably don't reach their potential because they're scoring 160 and they say, well, I can't skip any questions. And it's like, no, you should be skipping questions. Once your score gets up to like around 170, then we can start talking about changing that. Well, that aspect of the strategy can change, but like, your strategy should change with you.
Yes. That was something that I did not understand for most of my studying. I'm so like, I get worked up about this because I was like, oh yeah, I have to answer every question, even when I was not even close to the range of like where I could be there. I was like, I got to distribute my time evenly. I got to be just as mad at myself for missing every individual question as the next one. It wasn't helpful. Like, it got me nowhere.
Eric, how does that come across in the tutoring?
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think at the point that I took my first test back in April, I was sort of just resigned to the fact that I was going to miss some questions while trying to attempt every question, and that like probably adopting a different strategy might have gotten me some points that I didn't get right. But yeah, I think a lot that all makes sense, right? And that's a lot of what I talk about with my students in terms of like we're trying to maximize points here, right? And the way that we get that is, I think one of the key things here that I point out is like you're not penalized for wrong guessed answers on the LSAT, right? So if you take your last like 20 seconds to click random things, you might still even get some extra points there, right? But that situation is better than I spent insufficient time on a number of questions and got them all wrong because
Exactly.
I'll say, like, I brought it up before, like, I took the test twice. The last time I took it, like, I spent way too much time on the first question. It was really weird. I don't know what happened. I think I was misreading it. Like, I don't remember it. I'm not one of those people who remembers the test they took. That's insane to me.
Did you do a warm-up, Alex?
I did do a warm-up. Yeah.
I have no solutions for you.
But the first question, well, I think it was just sort of spinning out, where I was just like, what, how can the first question be hard? The first question is
but then it's more so you're just doing it in your head. It's like, it's it's perpetuated. Yeah.
But my timing was way off and I was rushed, and like, I think I would have scored a little marginally higher if I had just skipped that first question, because I really had to rush through the last like 5, say. And so, it's something that regardless of where you are, even, like, ultimately, like, I was in the 170s, and yet if I had skipped the first one, I think I still, even though that's not a strategy that I was like hoping to do at the time, I still think I would have at least scored a few points better on that section. Right. I don't know. You can always do that. There's always room if you get hung up, even if it's not part of the plan.
True.
What else were we talking about?
I was trying to think.
There was something I had.
It's a great question, Alex.
I swear we had one more point.
No, I had a joke teed up. Where did it go?
Oh,
now would be a great time. Now it would really be maximum impact at this point. A joke that was in reference to something that was said before this.
Wait, I don't know if this is a good time. I don't know if this is a good time to bring this up, but I noticed that they created a pop culture Jeopardy show with Colin Jost, and I was just gonna throw that out as a bone for Bailey because
that
is a good thing to bring up
because she's less trivia oriented.
If they're looking for like sacrificial lambs to for the show,
they take them in groups of 3.
I
I'm
can't
just
go
saying.
On the show. I won't. I'll get out in the first question.
You don't get out.
Get out. You don't get out.
Eliminate. It's not Squid Games.
I want to make it really clear that I do know how Jeopardy works. I do run a Jeopardy class every week.
It is not made clear.
It's not clear. No, I have no idea. Okay, cool. So are you telling me that I should learn pop culture from watching this?
Could be nice.
Are you telling me to literally go on the show?
Either or.
Well, I just think you might enjoy it as a watch. But
yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. I probably won't, unfortunately. But maybe I'll throw it up in the background.
That as a nice segue that we learned the spelling of.
We're really good at this
in previous shows. LSAT Jeopardy with 7Sage helped me acquire this collector's item.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I needed.
Socks.
I needed somebody to come on the podcast and share the socks.
Which I'm keeping in their original packaging for when
value.
their value explodes in like 5 or 10 years.
Yeah. Smart.
After the podcast gets really big.
It already is, but yeah.
It already is.
Well, when the lead widens.
Yeah.
And
once we get sort of crossover appeal beyond the LSAT, people are listening to this who have no intention of taking the test.
And that's my plan to finance that's how I'm going to pay off my law school debt is
very cool
through the 7Sage stocks.
I think that is a good investment. Good. And it was an investment of $0, just your own brain power.
Well, the
right?
subscription.
Well, true. So $1 for a fee waiver student. By the way, really quick plug. If anybody has a fee waiver, doesn't know yet, and if you don't know about the fee waiver, thing that you can apply for through LSAC, they'll help you out if you just can't afford this test. Come to LSAC, come to 7Sage. We will hook you up with a whole year's worth, or however long your fee waiver is active, of a subscription to live class, which is usually a lot of money. So
I had a
reasonable amount of
waiver,
money, but you can get it for even less.
Okay, true. I guess I was trying to prove that it was a good deal, but it's also a good deal if you just buy live class.
Value all around.
It's value all around.
It's really not that expensive, but you can get it for even cheaper if you have a fee waiver. So you can get it for $1, which is like pretty insane, and I think a pretty cool thing that we do. So if you have a fee waiver,
I was a fee waiver 7Sage student.
Yeah,
this is true.
If you
don't have one,
you should look into it because I
agree.
You might qualify for it. You never know. It used to be really, really hard to get a fee waiver. Like it used to be. I don't know. I don't know what the details were, but it was like very restrictive on who could get it. And it's since like loosened up a bit, which is good because the whole process is so expensive. So any opportunity you can get to make it a little bit less of a financial burden, take advantage of. So look into fee waivers. If you qualify for a fee waiver, we do our own fee waiver here, which is giving you a subscription for $1, which where are you going to do better than that?
Pretty good. Come on. Yeah. By the way, just to be clear, I think that part of the reason why more people can get fee waiver, or like maybe it's a little bit, I don't know, like less strict to get them these days, is because you can appeal. They have an appeals process. I think a lot of people don't know about that though. So if you've been denied, appeal your fee waiver. That's how more people can get them.
Yeah.
Just got to add context. All right.
Yeah. Anything else? Eric, you did a live stream for us. That was fun. Want to have you back and do that again. How did that go? Do you want to explain what that is real quick for people who don't know?
Yeah, so we had me take a LSAT logical reasoning section just prior to the live stream. I screen recorded, put it all together really quickly, and then Henry and I and Alex briefly went through it and just kind of analyzed sort of my thought process going through the test, or just the section rather, and we're looking at timing, how quickly I moved through certain questions. It was really interesting. I've obviously dealt a lot with individual LSAT questions over the past few months, but since I took the exam, I haven't sat down and done like sections at a time. So that was an interesting experience, a little triggering, but
scary.
It was fun. It was cool.
Yeah,
and it went well.
We should do it again. I mean, it's so we're going to be offering it at least as a live class, hopefully weekly, maybe bi-weekly, depending on, we'll see. But at the very least bi-weekly, where a tutor, I'd like to get Eric back, but at least somebody who's a tutor at 7Sage taking a section for the first time. And then the idea is, if you're a live class subscriber, check that event page beforehand. You'll see which section they're doing so that you can do it ahead of time. And then you're just going through it together, and hearing their thought process, comparing it to your own. It's a pretty cool thing, I think, that we're doing. So yeah, awesome.
Pretty cool.
You want to do it sometime, Bailey? You can do it. You can take a section.
No.
Okay.
You should do Bailey, do the Puerto Rico test.
Oh no, that's too hard. We were doing that the other day, just the test in Spanish. It's hard. It's hard.
Wow.
But the thing was that I started recognizing the questions because I just know a lot of them from the ones that are in English. So I started getting really good at it. And then it was like, wait, no, it's not because I'm not
I
good
knew
at
all
Spanish.
the answers. I just had to figure out the Spanish part, and then I was golden.
You were doing like reverse engineering.
I bet I would do pretty good at it, not from knowing Spanish, because I don't know Spanish, but just because I know.
Because
I
you
could
know
recognize
Latin roots.
Well, I do know that is true, but no, because I could recognize what the questions were.
Yeah, you might be able to actually. We should do that
It's
with
not
you
that-
after.
here's the thing.
It's kind of fun.
That
we'll
should be the next live class.
That could be the next live class. Oh my god, that
so
would be really
useful.
funny.
That'd be so helpful for
Useful
everyone. Really, wow.
We're really supposed to add value to our students studying.
Yeah,
Not
wow.
just entertainment.
So cool. Well, Eric, it's been an absolute pleasure. If people want to tutor with you, they can. Eric Broner, you can request.
That is true.
Although, act quickly. He's only got so many hours in the day to tutor,
That is
flying
such a
off
good
the
point.
shelves. What else was I going to say? Oh, we'll have you back after you've seen Wicked.
Yeah. So we can check in.
We'll have you back
actually,
in when truly no one is thinking about Wicked anymore.
Right. Why are you seeing it so late? Come on.
I was planning to film myself as I watched the movie, and then I was thinking we could live stream that as a live class.
Eric, when are you going to be in New York?
I'm gonna be in New York the 31st through the 14th
of January?
December
31st.
Right.
January 14th.
Okay. I'm going to be in New York in February. I was going to say if you're there, I would go see Wicked on Broadway with you. But
that's so cute.
I would love that, but no, I will be at home in February.
All right.
You guys.
The offer still stands.
Really fun.
To anyone out there, anyone want to see Wicked on Broadway?
You might want to take that offer back. I don't know, man.
I'm not telling you when.
Just show up to a Wicked on Broadway show somewhere in the month of February. Alex might be there.
To be clear, I'm probably not going to
go. Please
if Eric wanted to do it, I would.
Please address all invitations to your own inbox.
Yeah. Per usual.
No. But for real, you can always email podcast@7sage.com.
Yes, podcast@7sage.com.
It's just Alex.
We'd honestly would love to have your questions, to answer questions on the show. So please send questions in and suggestions. And dare I say praise? I don't know. Is that too much to ask? I'm sure you're thinking it. I'm sure you're thinking, wow, this is great. Hey, what's the harm in just letting us know?
Wait.
Just kidding. You don't have to. But subscribe on YouTube. Thumbs it up or whatever.
You guys, I just thought of a really good pop quiz to wrap this all up. So there were 3 different sets of 3 words that were repeated at some point throughout this podcast. Do either of you guys even notice?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we said the big one. Okay,
yeah,
what was it?
Trademark.
Review. What did we just say? Please,
subscribe.
Oh, please.
Sabrina Carpenter, come on.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm doing
you
pop
do
culture
great.
thing.
You would do great on the pop culture Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Alex and I would not get this point.
I think I would know that Sabrina Carpenter wrote that. Okay. Don't lump me in with that.
Come on.
I don't.
That was good, you guys. Anyways, that's all. That's all I had.
Yeah. Anyways, this was a blast. Subscribe on YouTube. I think. I mean, yeah, you should. You should.
We can't force you to do anything.
Subscribe on it. And like and subscribe. Those are the things. That's what I was leaving out. Subscribe. Also, keep tabs on Instagram and TikTok. We're gonna be doing more there. So, yeah, I'm
excited. Are we?
It's the 20. It's 2000. Whatever it is when we release this.
Whatever year it is. Honestly, hopefully, if you guys are lucky, you're going to see the drafts that Alex and I have in the TikTok inbox.
Yeah.
We have some good TikTok drafts that are ready to be sent out.
They're ready to go. Just the red buttons. Just as soon as I press it. Okay, we should wrap it up. All right.
Goodbye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye. Have a good one.